Hey everybody, what's going on? So we're gonna go ahead and replace a strut on a W220 here. I've got a W220 S430 from the year 2000. It's non-4matic. It's not an ABC strut, so I don't have active body control, but just regular Airmatic shock here. Got the new one here, straight from the dealer. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the process it takes to replace this thing. So first thing that I recommend you do, and the first thing I'm gonna do, is make sure that the part I've been given is correct. Don't want to get too deep into the job here and find out, oh man, it's the wrong part, because I've been there. That sucks. So let's see here. So that looks right there. Let's look at the top here. Looks the same to me. So as long as you've got the right ends and stuff, we can go ahead and get started. So what my strut was doing is that every time I go over a bump and I accelerate, the car will come up a little bit, so that causes this to, expand, and I would hear like a little so I got air escaping anytime that this side of the car goes up. So first thing that we're gonna do here is we're gonna, of course, jack it up. Jack it up from the little pad that sits right there. Throw a jack stand under there, and just want to be as safe as possible. But then you're going to go ahead and take this nut off here. Just be careful, because it's going to try and come apart really quickly, but you take this nut off and let this whole assembly just kind of drop back. Then the next thing that you want to do is there's like a Allen right here. I'll get you the size on that. This is a little Allen that goes on the side that keeps it connected to this ball joint. And then you don't want to forget, right here we got electrical connector that goes to the strut that plugs in right up in here. And I'll try and get a better shot of that for you to show you how that comes apart. So let's get started. Alright, so I sized this guy out. This is going to be a 16mm wrench. I'm just going to take this guy on there and just start cranking it loose. And so you take that nut off. Usually it won't just come flinging apart, but just be prepared in case it does. Usually want to just kind of like hit this guy with the hammer, and then you get this joint separated here. But you can put the nut back on there, and that'll help catch it so it doesn't just come flying apart. So you just leave it a couple threads on to kind of catch it. So you're gonna want to come over here, grab this guy, and kind of twist. This is a 5mm, by the way. I don't know if I can get the size on there, but you can see that's a 5mm Allen. Come over here, that's the only connection that holds the bottom of this strut, besides the electrical connector. And you just want to back that out. You can take it all the way out if you want, but you just want to make sure that it's backed out enough so it'll release. But so then you want to come up here. You want to disconnect this guy here. These are usually about a 10 or a 12 millimeter nuts, and then the 13s that hold that, we'll just let it drop out. So okay, so you can see I just took this, of course, just counterclockwise, just rotate that guy out. You can pull that away, and then you take out those 13s, and it drops down pretty good. So I'll show you how to put the new one on this guy, but once that's dropped out, you come back down to the bottom. You can see for the most part this guy's pretty loose in here. Alright, so we can see, I'll move the light, but you can see the cord just kind of comes down and around to that little cylinder stuck next to it. And so you just kind of push this guy off. It's a little harder, but let's see here. There you go. Pull that guy off. Don't knock over your light. And then you probably just want to cut this zip tie here and put a new one in there, because the connector is gonna, there's a little slot in this little tab that's in there. So I go ahead and cut that. So once you've cut this guy here, you got that separated. So you just grab that same cable and just lift it out of there. And then you can, it's gonna be a little difficult to show this. See if I can keep that guy there. So you can see in here, you've got this little connector that it sits in. So right here, it's like a metal clip. So the easiest way to do this is you want to, like, see if I can get in here. If you push down on this guy, the top of this, the sides will flare out like that. And then you can get into here and grab them and pull the tabs out. So let's see if I can stand this up. So what you want to do is put your finger on top of here, and the side will flare out, and then you lift this guy up and over like that. And then that'll kind of just allow you to, alright, don't lose that clip. Make sure if it flings off like it did for me, you know where it went. Mine's right here somewhere. There it is. So it looks like that. Just be careful with it. Don't lose it. You're gonna need it to secure that connector there. And then once you've got that clip out, this whole thing will just kind of pop out like that. And the other thing I did to make it easier to access that was I disconnected the little level sensor here to make sure I could see it, because this cord was kind of getting in the way for down here. So then you just kind of finagle that guy out of there, and then there's those two connectors. So you can see that ours is the right one here. And you just kind of pry these guys apart. You take ours out, and then next thing you know, we've got our electrical connector fully out. Alright, so it's a little bit different. Haven't done a 220 strut in a while, but there is actually another one of these Allens like we took off on this side on the 180 degrees from the other one. So you basically can just loosen and take that off there. And once you get that thing loose enough, the strut should just come straight up. So I got mine what feels like pretty loose. If you want, you can take it all the way out. Let's see. Maybe a little more. Let's see if we can get it up here. So I can feel that joint separated. So you basically just gotta kind of grab this with two hands and just lift it up and over this guy. So I'll show you what that looks like here. So it's pretty simple. You just make sure that these three little pegs that we undid at the top, or you just kind of put them back up in those holes. Lift it up. Take it out just like that. There you go. There's your strut. So basically we'll just take this guy here I'll just put it in the same way. So you want to make sure this guy is facing the same direction it was, which is, if you remember, in there towards the back of the car. And you want to make sure the little electrical connector and stuff is on the side that faces the front of the car. So we'll just kind of bring this in here, and we'll put it in the exact opposite as we took it out. So what we do is you kind of lift this guy up in here, line up those holes. So what I typically do with this part is I just take a hammer to about right there. If you have an air hammer, that works too. You just kind of, you can see that joint just separated. See how it's sitting on the bottom there. But what you can do is you can kind of just squeeze this together, kind of flick your nut off, and that'll separate that joint so you can get the new strut in and out. So that's what it looks like separated. To get the new one in, maybe the new one out, but to get the new one in, I have to, put your hand up here and just kind of like push down on this guy as much as you can to kind of give it more room. So then we'll take our electrical connector here and unravel it. We'll put it back, routed the same way. And what we can really do at this point is just put this back on here. Just line that up, squeeze it, and put the nut on there. So now, what we can see is we'll take this guy, we'll put this in a place so we can light it up. So we're gonna do the same thing. Got it back here. Let's see if I can get it to cooperate to go the right direction. Click that guy in there. Bring this around in here. And then you're gonna connect these two back together. So you can see I put my clip back in there, routed it all under this cable. I got my new zip tie in there, so I'll just tighten that down. I've only got white zip ties, but it's fine. Everything's gonna get dirty in here anyways. And then just clip off the extra there. And then we will go ahead and make sure we put that clip back in. Which is sometimes a little easier said than done. Just gotta be careful. See if I can get it in. So there you go. If I could do it with one hand, I don't think it's that big of a problem. Make sure you plug in your level sensor again. Make sure it clicks like that. And then you should be all good to go. Everything's pretty much connected. You just tighten down the nut here. I'm gonna go ahead and put our 13s on here. We'll run those down. Have to lift the strut up a little bit for that one. For this, we'll have to get this off of here. I'll unscrew that. Alright. And then we'll, this is different than the other models, so you'll just actually screw your old one back in. Normally this fitting will be replaced on other makes and models of cars, other Mercedes often. So you just tighten that down, just make sure it's snug, you don't have to crank on it. And there we go. So it's all installed. Make sure you don't forget the bottom guys here. So on that side. And then you can see the other one kind of right there, that silver one. So I'll take a 5mm again. We'll crank those down. All right, so I got the wheel back on. What we're gonna do next here is I'm gonna jack the car off my jack stand. Alright, should be good. Go ahead and pull that guy out of there. We'll try and slowly lower this here. Continue. Alright, so we'll leave it just about somewhere around here. You can hear it going down, so we'll stop it there. Come over, open the door. We'll go ahead and put the key in. Go and you can already hear it going up here. So once you got the keys, kind of wake the car up. Come over here again. We'll just so as the car goes down, we'll go back inside and we'll tell the car to go up. Might have to fire it up. And hit the level up button. You can hear the compressor running now. Hear it filling up the strut bit by bit. There it goes, it's starting to go up now. And there it goes. It's all set up. Now I'll put it at the right level. I'll be able to pull my jack out. Alright, so that's how you do a strut on a W220 Airmatic. Mine's just not 4x4. And it's not ABC, so now pretty much just take it for a test drive, make sure everything's normal. We got no errors in the dash and stuff, and we should be good. Thanks for watching, guys.